I was out running again, cause what are some reasons to run?
You could think of exercising and the apocalypse. Is that it?
Okay, dude. I was out running because it wasn't raining on a Tuesday. And yeah, I was out running. I got to the bus stop. There were two people staying there. Some hooded guy whose face I couldn't see. He had some red stripes on his black hoodie. It looked pretty cool, I guess. Kind of looked like he bought it from Hot Topic, though. Strange. The other person was this tall woman who just stared. No expression, yet somehow no thoughts either. You know how you can usually tell when someone's, zoning out? She wasn't. She was no expression, no thoughts. Very strange. Another weird thing about her is that it was impossible to determine her age. Could be younger than me, could be middle-aged, and there's a bit of a difference there, so to speak. So I stop at the bus stop, and the hooded guy looks over at me. For whatever reason, he liked what he saw, I suppose, but who doesn't? And he put out his hand and said, "You can call me Shadow." I shake his hand and told him my name, and this guy actually started with asking, "Do you have a partner?" Strange, but I answered, "No, I don't." And while I couldn't see his face, I could hear that he started smiling with the way he was speaking. He said, "Well, I don't have one either. Where I come from, people call me Border Tsar the way I hunt Latinas." And that's kind of how the conversation went. I answered with something like, "Women should live in cages the way they be acting feral around me," and a couple other similar lines. After some discussion with this shadow, the woman who stood there suddenly started moving, as she was still standing completely still before. She reached out her hand and said, "Hello, and Shadow. My name is Trad, and I couldn't help but hear your conversation. I must say that it is clear neither of you have partners because you don't know how to talk neither about or to women. Actually, that might be a little presumptive. Are you into women?" And just like that, as well, like the way she said it. Just no facial expression, completely dead voice. It's strange, if nothing else. And so Shadow said, "I don't care much for gender or sex." And I said, "I'm only attracted to women, but I don't care much for gender or sex. Times two." They both stared at me for like a solid 3 seconds. Strange. Tad said, "Well, won't even pretend to understand what that's supposed to mean, but okay. The both of you clearly need to learn how to talk to women either way. I'll teach you since you haven't said anything awful to or about me yet. Say you're talking to a girl and you want to give her a compliment. Shadow, what would you say?" Despite the hoodie, I could tell that he thought hard. After a while, he says, "Your breasts must be green the way they are the size of watermelons." Tad just blinks and says, "That was about as good as I expected. How about you?" I thought for a while, realized that the best thing to say might not be to talk about her body. I did forget that we were supposed to compliment her in the process, but you know. And so I said, "You, my dear female, look like you could use a dinner. I'll order Burger King right away." Tad looked at me for a moment, blinked slowly, and said, "I suppose you're on the right track at least. Did you hear that? I just got approval." How it feels to get approval. That's roughly how it feels, you know? And so she went on and on for a good while about things to say, things to not say, what we did right, what we did wrong. She was a shockingly good teacher, despite the fact that her facial expression, tone of voice, and general mannerisms didn't change a bit throughout the whole thing. And I feel like I've learned a lot. But you have to use it in practice as well, and it tends to be harder in such situations. And speaking of such situations, suddenly, when we had been speaking for some time, there were sounds coming from bushes nearby. That's what I said. I said it twice. I wasn't happy with the way I pronounced it, so I said it twice. Yeah, there were sounds coming from bushes nearby. We didn't get into our totally badass fighting positions, as few threats would warrant such a response. Instead, we just stared at the bushes like deer. And out from the bushes comes the prettiest person I have ever laid my eyes upon. It was as if everything just fell into place. I know I'm not alone in my assessment either, because Tad actually raised her eyebrows, which is huge, and Shadow, he went straight to business and said, "Pink hair, pink. You know." Tad's eyebrows fell back down in disappointment. I hadn't really processed what he says, as I was distracted. That hair, those eyes, that voice. Shadow somehow continued after that. "You remind me of my mom, in the best way." And now, not before, now the angel responded. "Excuse me, do you mind telling me her name?" Somehow this surprised Shadow, and he let out a "huh." The angel then proceeded to run up to him with light, precise, and swift steps. "Come on, it's fine. Please, please." The angel, as it would with most people, left Shadow flustered. Yet he managed to squeeze out a response. "Maria, almost like the Virgin Mary, but you know, not quite." While Shadow said this, the angel nodded quickly and energetically. When Shadow was done, it was for some reason time for the angel to announce its presence. Why didn't it do it before? I don't know. "All right, may I have your attention, please?" As if I and Tad weren't already looking. I long to look at that face again. Oh, right, the story. So the angel went on to say, "You guys can call me Alfonso. I'm one of the 12 heroes of Chechnya, and I'm a writer. Nice to meet you." Alfonso. The angel's name is Alfonso. While it visibly surprised Shadow, he isn't exactly deterred by such a thing, and I, being a straight white man, I should probably be. But I'm not. That day, all Alfonso really did after announcing their own name was to say, "I'm going to head into town for a little while," turn around, wave while leaving, and end with, "Well, see ya." And I sure hope I do. I wish I do. And if I do, I'll make sure to update you on it. Anyways, I hope you liked my story. I'm hoping to tell you more totally real stories that definitely happened. Hopefully regarding Alfonso in my next meeting with them. The anticipation alone is... Please comment if you have similar stories, or if you have any topics you'd like to see if I have stories about. Like, subscribe, and see ya!